2026 board meeting. I want to remind everybody to sign in, and if they had any comment cards, you can present them at this time. We're going to try to adhere to the 3 minutes for each speaker as best we can. Everyone has signed in, no comment cards. No?
Your lucky day.
Okay, Mr. Raymond?
Thank you for this day. Thank you for this being the second month of the year. Bless our guests that is here today and everybody that's participating within this organization. Thank you. Amen.
Okay. Roll call.
Jennifer Reed,
Present.
Nicole Godin,
Present.
Renee Bosworth,
Present.
Jean Petrie,
Present.
Raymond Cozy,
Present.
Lauren Quinlan, absent, Kate Holm.
Present.
6 board members present, 1 absent, and there is a quorum.
Thank you. All right, at this time, this is the public comment section. We had no cards, so I guess we would just move right on through that. Acceptance of the agenda.
I make a motion to accept today's agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Everyone had their disposition of minutes. You had your email copy. Has everyone had a chance to look over it and agree with it?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the January meeting. A second.
Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? All right. Ms. Kelsey, we'll go with your consent agreements.
Yes. The first consent agreement we have this morning is for Ms. Nyla Diaz. This is a violation from April 15th, 2025. She was working without a license. She was registered with the board as a student. She had completed school in September of 2024, but has not yet passed her examinations. And so she entered into a consent agreement to pay a fine of $200 plus $450 in costs for a total of $650. There is obviously no license to suspend, which is why there's no probation, because she doesn't have a license to suspend. And then the second one is for Bobby Grunblatt. This is a violation from August 1st, 2025 for operating an unregistered salon. Ms. Grunblatt agreed to a consent agreement to pay a fine of $200 plus $450 in costs for a total of $650 and a 1-year probation. And that is all the consent for today. Pardon? She did, yeah, she has since gotten her salon license, yes.
Thank you.
But the first one, she still isn't licensed. She still hasn't passed her exam.
That's correct, yes.
Anybody have any questions about that? Okay.
I make a motion to approve consent agreements A and B as presented. A second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, so Nadra still isn't here, so.
Yes, so we have a hearing this morning for Ms. Bell, who I believe is here down there. The inspector's on the way, she's stuck in traffic, so I was gonna see if the board would be willing to just move the hearing down the agenda until the inspector arrives.
Is everyone okay with that?
Yep.
So we'll move on to the next section of the declaratory order.
So the declares myself.
Well.
So at your last meeting, you all approved a proposed declaratory order subject to review by the Occupational Licensing Review Division of the Attorney General's Office. That's not yet been completed yet. And we also have on the agenda, I believe, the the lawsuit, item A, that's actually item B, and we would need to go into executive session to discuss the lawsuit. So you might, since we have a packed house, you might want to move that to the end of the agenda to avoid everybody will have to exit and then come back, but it's really just up to you. It's just kind of like logistics since we're at capacity and we have people in the waiting room already.
I agree with that also because that way when the inspector comes, we could finagle.
You could do the
You know,
hearing at
yeah.
that point.
Okay.
That way they're not waiting.
Okay. So we'll move that to the end of the board meeting.
I think that
Okay.
to avoid the disruption of everybody getting up and out.
Okay.
and back.
Do I need to vote on that?
To reorder the agenda, you need a motion and 2/3 approval.
Okay.
Okay, I make a motion to reorder the agenda to move the executive meeting to the end of the agenda.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay,
I'm gonna go get this one.
okay.
Okay. She'll be back in a second.
Okay.
Just so you'll be aware, we moved the executive session on the lawsuit to the end of the agenda.
Okay,
This to the end because of it's a packed house, so make it easier.
So we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, continuing education discussion. Item 1 is a vote on the waiting period to enroll in instructor curriculum. That actually is hopefully going to be included in our legislature. If everyone is in favor of adding that to the legislature.
So, yeah, have you found anybody that willing to carry it yet?
Yes, Representative Noel.
Okay, great. Great. We've had a lot of requests for this, so I think it's good.
Okay. So, can I get a motion to,
It's a discussion, we can vote and agree on it, I mean, that's fine. We can't, it's not gonna change anything, but yeah,
We need a motion to add it to our legislation. Feel.
To the proposed legislation.
okay, yeah.
I make a motion to add the waiting period for the instructor curriculum to our proposed legislation.
I second.
Just to be clear, the proposal is to remove that from the statute.
Sorry.
Okay. Just so our record's clear.
Right, right.
all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Just to add it.
All right. All right, also, we're seeking approval for the Rocket Cert for continuing education that Erin had presented to us. Has everybody had a chance to look over that in their packet?
I did, but have my instructors look at it, and they seem to be okay with it.
Okay. I think it's great, it gives us another opportunity, another way, another option,
Absolutely.
okay?
I make a motion to approve Rocket Cert for another option for instructors continuing education.
And that is online.
Yes.
So you're clear, right?
Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Okay, now we'll have the presentation for the Lsbc. Do we need to,
I think they're in.
waiting here, oh.
Hello,
We
good
didn't need to
morning.
bring anybody else in, that was it?
Yeah, we are with LSBC and two
Okay.
people sitting out. You want me to
Okay.
grab one?
Okay.
Yes, please, thank you. I'm gonna grab them, I'll just stay up. Good morning, I'm
Good
Dr.
morning.
Sylvia Solomon, President of LSBC.
How are you guys this morning?
Good.
It's cold outside though.
Yeah, it is.
Too cold.
Mr. Raymond?
Huh?
Yes.
I would have to leave.
Yeah, napkins.
That's okay.
Here's some napkins.
Don't put it in the cup. How you doing?
Jennifer. Huh?
LSBA.
Okay.
Clean up on aisle 8.
We'll get the carpet clean, the ones what happens.
Yes. Yeah, signatures already. Positions down. Okay,
Okay.
we're ready now.
All right. Our directors of education is here. This is our lead director and the two on, and our assistant directors of education. And Dr. Zenobia Wright is our director of our monitors with the LSBBA, this lady right here. And so we come in this morning because there was application that we had to send in for the instructors that are teaching, the instructors for the CEU program, and we did send in all the paperwork that we had to send in along with our syllabus. And so we didn't know what else to send. We did the bio, the resumes, the classes that they're teaching, and like I said, the syllabus with the hotel on it, with the dates that we're having everything on.
Okay. If y'all have any questions for them, have you had a chance to look over it? And that's on their bios.
As of now, we still don't know how many instructors that we are anticipating, but last year for our CEU annual convention, we had over 80 instructors.
Okay. Just gonna give them a minute to look over it again.
What is the cost for the class? Is that on here?
The cost for the class is $180.
You did 16 hours?
Yes.
Good deal.
I can kind of share, I did look over this ahead of time, and I do want to acknowledge all the hard work that you ladies have been doing. I know that Lsbc has really stepped up since LAX disbanded, and I also realized the board just implemented this new application process last month, and you guys' seminar is planned for April. That being said, I did notice a couple of things that weren't there that were a part of the new application process.
Okay.
So like I said, knowing it's been planned and it's already set up for April, I would suggest that we kind of grandfather this one in until for 2026 and then redo the application process, and we'll vote again in 2027 for the next seminar. I know I myself, I plan to attend this year. I'm excited. I've never been. I think that that'll help too, us actually having not an opinion, but experience.
Feet on the ground.
Yeah, feet on the ground experience, firsthand experience, and be able to make better decisions moving forward. So yeah, that is what I suggest for this year. I don't know if y'all have any other thoughts. Yeah, that's my thoughts.
So I'll ask for a motion to accept the application.
I make a motion to accept the application for the 2026 seminar.
I have one, it's not, just for next year, when you're sending this packet in, it would make it easier to have like resumes together, lesson plans together. It makes it a lot of flipping, like, wait, did y'all did you feel like that with it? Like, I felt like I flipped a lot. So just kind of like a little bit more,
Okay.
Structure.
yeah, personally.
Okay.
I think it would just be a little bit easier.
No
I
problem.
felt like I was flipping back and
So what do you
forth.
mean,
Yeah.
put everybody's resume in one
Yeah,
section?
like I'd like to see
Everybody.
all the lesson plans to read as one, to see the flow versus being like, okay, let me go back here,
Okay.
let me
Yeah,
go back
that's fine.
here. That's just aesthetics. It is, you obviously can do whatever you want. I'm just saying, I think it might be a little easier to read, is what
Okay.
I'm saying.
Okay, we did it that way because I was doing it from person to person.
Yeah, and I totally get what you're
Okay.
saying, but I would like to have read the, like how you,
No problem.
like.
I know, I printed everything and I had to
I
piece it all
know.
together
Yeah.
and say, this
Yeah.
one's doing
I
this,
get
and
it.
this one's doing this, and this
Yeah,
one's.
like I like seeing every
Got
one,
it.
but then I would like to just kind of read all
Okay,
this in
got
a
it.
continuous flow too,
Okay.
so.
And that's no problem.
And thank y'all for all the work that you put into
Yeah,
it.
no, it was a great packet, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so,
I have a motion, did I?
you did make a motion,
Okay, I second.
okay? All in favor of accepting their, of the approval of their, LSBBA continuing education seminar? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
And I said it
Thank you.
correctly today.
You said, I was gonna say that, y'all have to excuse me, I have a doctor's appointment,
Oh,
but I
Thank
will
you
be
for
back
coming.
next
Thank you for
month.
coming. Okay.
And all of you who did not come to and have not been to any of our conventions, y'all missing a treat. You should try and come this year.
I'm excited about you coming too.
I'll get
It's
myself
gonna
a
help.
district soon.
I would
Yes.
be here with it, but I will be absent.
Did you send me an email?
Did I send you an email? No.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. We'll have to get Mr. Cozy.
He told us, yeah.
Yeah, really.
Rebecca, see you later.
You know? Yes. I'm pretty sure is that why you called her out? I think her job very. Yeah. Because we're at full capacity.
I would ask Sherry that question. Sherry, she has a question. If she leaves because she's excused for the executive, and she can just go ahead and go, or does she need to be back in to close the board meeting?
There will, we do have to close it in open session, but if we have a quorum without her
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's raining.
Yeah, we should have
As
that
long as
one.
it's for Raymond, stays on the
Everybody
top.
else. And Edwin's not here yet, did we see?
I didn't see her.
9:47, she's not here yet.
Okay, all right.
I'll go grab him again.
Yeah, that's why I was saying we should send somebody and make sure she's not sitting. Welcome back.
Yes, we are.
Yes, they cleaned up for you.
That's it.
Okay, we'll move on to, old business. Under legislative discussion and deadlines, as I stated earlier, Representative Newell is going to be carrying the bill for us. It is our hopes that the bill includes moving, all of the short courses. Our state minimum is 500 hours, we'd like to move them all up to 600. We would like to move our alternative hair permit to a 600-hour license. And we would like to remove the 12-month waiting period for a licensed cosmetologist to go back into education to become an instructor.
Right. So we're moving all low-hour licenses to 600. So
Permits, and then they would be licensed.
No, I'm talking about
But even manicurists,
manicurists, who right now is how many hours?
some are 500. 500, I think, between.
What's the state minimum is
It's
500,
500,
so we'll move that to 600.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
And when the instructor, we'll move instructor,
Yes.
license, the state requirement's 500, we'll move that to 600.
Correct.
And any other,
Those are the two short, yeah, two short courses. And we're at 500.
so they're just two short courses, we're moving to 5,
Yeah.
from 5 to 6.
Yeah.
Plus alternative hair.
Alternative hair is 500 now?
Yes, it's
We'll
500.
move that to 600.
And it's a permit.
Right.
We'd like to move that into a license
Right,
and with 600 hours.
yeah. And the reason, if y'all don't know, the reason we're moving to 600 hours, because the Department of Education requires the minimum state requirements to be at least 600 hours to receive federal funding, direct student loans, Pell Grants and such. So if the state requirement's 500, they're saying that they're not gonna approve
The student doesn't qualify.
direct loans and Pell Grants, which will hurt the student. So that's why we're going that route.
Sherry, did you want to say anything about the legislature deadline for, to be,
No, the session starts in March 9th, and so pre-filing requests have to be submitted. My understanding is Representative Noel knows about the request, and so it's already been submitted. I did speak to her Saturday. Renee and I both spoke to her on Saturday. She had some questions, and she said she was still reviewing it, and asked me to contact her this week. And so, and I believe that you also had contacted her staff to set up a meeting. So I think that will move forward this week, and the draft will probably file at the end of the month.
okay.
What's the deadline for pre-filing?
I believe it is like the Friday before, so for the pre-filing deadline, but to request a bill to be pre-filed is at the end of February. I think the 25th, if I remember correctly, and, but the request has been submitted, but then it'll have to just, the structure be approved, and was kind of waiting for today for the final direction to make sure that the board supported moving the licenses from 5 to 6, moving alternative hair in from the rules to the license, and 600 hours.
Any other questions for Sherry or? Okay. We'll move on to, under old business, paying away removal for cosmetology practical. I had asked last month that we take this into consideration. It's no longer on the national test. It will not be taken out of the curriculum, and we still do finger wave direction of the hair in the back of the wet work. So So, I would like to move forward with this if the board is in approval of it.
Are we replacing it with something, or?
Eventually, we would like, not right now. It'll take some technology to restructure the whole test, but it is our hopes that when we replace it, it will be something that is more, I guess, practical moving into the workforce of cosmetology, something that they will be using every day. It's in hopes that possibly hot tools will be on the practical test. So that kind of is the job of the task force that we kind of put to rest for a little while until we could revisit that. So this is going to make some room to add in something else.
When would this be effective?
It would be effective next month.
Okay.
So it's February, so effective March 1st, anyone who has applied and has a test date will just not do the finger wave effective March 1st. I make a motion to remove the finger wave from the practical exam going into effect March 1st.
A second.
Yay. Okay, all in favor?
Did I hear a yay?
You heard, you're gonna hear.
Any opposed?
That was my instructor self coming out. Instructor self was like.
Okay, so thank you guys. I think this is gonna help us move our practical testing in a better direction. It hasn't been changed or altered in many, many years, and I think it's only gonna be for the positive moving forward. That's my hopes.
Yes, looking forward to getting the upgrades we need to kind of restart the task force mission.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll revisit that in a
Yeah.
second.
All right, so we're done with old business. We'll move on to new business. Executive Director's report. Ms. Erin.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Happy Carnival and Valentine's Day, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys will see attached your inspector report. Also really quick, we did have the day after the last board meeting, the body camera launch happened, and we did do a full day of training with all of the inspectors on the body cameras and the iPad technology. So that has been, I mean, it's been working great, honestly. There's been, considering it's been still less than a month that they've been using the iPads and the body cameras, we really haven't had too many hiccups. We've been able to go back and see footage of things from a different perspective, which has been wonderful, you know, for us. So anyway, that's good. We have two territories that we have ongoing interviews for right now. The application period on the civil service website closed. So the first round of interviews is tomorrow. And then the other one, I think it closed on Sunday. I can't remember. So once we get those applications back from civil service, then we'll be able to call those people to schedule interviews too. So then hopefully we'll have 2 more inspectors in the near future.
For a total of how many?
Well, I think that would bring us to 9. Okay. So we would still have 1 spot, and then we'll go chunk into that one. That'll be the next one that we'll try to fill. So I gave you both the December inspector report because, just so everybody's aware, some of these reports I'm not able to pull on Friday. And then the board meeting being, it depends on how the end of the month is. So just so everybody's aware, the end of the month was actually Saturday. So I'm not able to pull the full stuff for exact previous month. So the reports sometimes are going to be a month behind just because of working calendar days. So for December, total violations, 117. Number of shops inspected. Oops, sorry. Not 6,000. Sorry. The total is 614 was the total. It's supposed to be 611. They did two or three schools last month, so I added an extra 0 there. Sorry, guys. Number of inspections for December was 5.7 per day, but that also includes the calendar days of the holiday. So that's why the average is a little lower. We had a lot of people take paid time off in December as well. So then you have your report for all of 2025 in the darker blue section. So total violations, 1,762. Number of shops inspected, 8,613. Total inspections, 8,674. That's because of the school inspections. That's where there's a variance. And then the average number of inspections is 6.8 per day, which is great. These are your current inspectors and their districts that they're overseeing. And then we do have some that are overseeing the districts that aren't written on there, and they're transient right now supporting those areas. The next thing is testing. So the first thing is the handbook, or our policy and procedure manual. We also did a full day of training with the examiners this month, about 2 weeks ago. And we were able to sit down with them and go through this entire thing with them, all the things. So that's exciting. So if you haven't had a chance to read it, make sure that you get an opportunity in the near future.
It was very nice.
Yeah. Thanks to, I want to thank Kiwan and Ashley for really supporting with that too. It was a team effort, but still, you know, they put a lot of hard work into it. The January report is for January, not December, because their last testing day was last Tuesday. I was able to get it by the end of the week. So cosmetology practical, they did 124 tests. They had 40 retakes in cosmetology. State exam, written exam, which is your Title 46 or Gold Book, 124 of those. They had no failures or retakes for the state written exam, yay. And then I know you guys have been asking what are the things that they needed to work on. So haircut not being 90 degrees, the guideline is lost, and then the color retouch not saturated enough. The aesthetics practical, they had 49 students come and test, 2 had to retake. They had 49 people take the state exam and 0 failures. So practical retakes are from applying product all the way to the ends of the lashes, and that would be for the lash lift intent. Well, the lift, sorry, that's separate. The lift part, and then no processing time knowledge. So what's happening is they're applying the product and they're not like mocking a practical processing time like you would. They're just saying, oh, I did manufacturer's directions. Well, manufacturer's directions isn't just putting it on and wiping it off. So anyway, there's some clarity in that, and we'll talk about that in other packets in a second. So manicurist practical, we had 35 come and test. 6 people were retakes. We had 35 state exams, and we only had 2 have to retake, which is a really low amount in our manicurist amount that we've had since I've been here. Practical retakes and manicuring is not having nails on the mannequin prior to coming for testing. So they're supposed to have the tips already glued onto the nail and not have to wait for it to dry and all the things, you know. Acrylic repair is not using the silk wrap correctly. We had 6 instructors actually come and test last month for the practical, and then and I do know we did have 1 retake, just so everybody's aware. So monthly totals, we had 214 scheduled, 29 no-showed, 185 actually test, and we had 9 open test dates. And for, let's see, a couple of other things under testing for me is we did the training. Also the little testing practical guides have been reloaded on the website. So if you get a chance, I only printed a few copies because y'all could visit that on the website. It's all of the practical sections. They've been retyped. It's the same information. It's just a cleaner version of the PDFs because, and some of the visuals are updated. Yeah. Like there's like diagrams and stuff now. So anyway,
It looks great.
It looks great.
It
So
looks
I need
great.
to know what program you used for those head sheets.
I will let you know. I did. It was an app. You know, there's an app for that, right?
Yeah, that's
Also, Ashley Cade and Deborah Johnson and myself went to tour the Prometric facility. So if you're not familiar with Prometric is the testing company that we use for our NIC exam, our national exam. So we went to one of the facilities and we got to watch how the process actually happens for the students, just so that we can get their perspective on what's happening for them. And so that was kind of cool, you know. And then we do have a mock practical exam for instructors that was sent out to all of the schools last month for them to be able to sign up and come do practical days at State Board with the examiners and get some constructive feedback on what, you know, could best support them with their students at the school with testing here. So the first day is next Monday, the 9th, and then there's 2 more additional days in the fall. So they're able to sign up if they're, you know, currently working with a school right now, which is really nice. And the 9th is completely full. We only have a few spots left in the fall.
That's great. That's gonna close the gap between the instructors and the test admins on what's expected from the students and the teachers. So closing that gap is important.
Yeah, and because we do have like new testers and things like that, it really does help. So anyway, let's see.
I went back for a second.
Uh-huh.
Do we still hand out the gold book on their first day of school?
You don't have to hand it out. You can airdrop them to them in a digital form, or you can have a web link in your school app for them to get to it, as long as they have access to it, whether it's digitally or printed.
I just think this would be good attached to the gold book for them to hold on to.
Oh, I think it's, yeah.
Each school has their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember we used to get it like on the first day and we kept it in our box and
And
all
you
of
had to
that.
have it and show
But
it
then
to
they
the
lose
inspector.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
now-
know they do. I
Yeah,
know.
just so you know, like if an inspector comes to a school and they're asking for the gold book and the school only has the digital version that they airdrop to the student has to open their iPad and pull up the actual file and show it to the inspector that they have it saved. So, yeah. Okay, schools. All right, so Deborah, are you in here?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, hey.
She's not in the corner anymore.
Okay, so Deborah's here to help support with the schools conversation, just because, you know, she oversees the schools and stuff. So, non-operational school policy, we have found that, and Deborah can give you more information on this, we've had inspectors go to try to inspect schools, just like we have with shops, and they're not operational. And they haven't enrolled students in a very long time, and so then we don't know what's happening. Like, there's no anything going on. So if you want to kind of tell us what's...
Yeah, so we're just wondering what we would do in the instance, like, we keep trying to inspect the school, they keep sending in their renewal, but there's no students for years and years.
It's just like a...
So, multiple years. So what do we do in that, for
Are
instance?
they receiving grants?
I don't know. I mean, I don't...
They don't
know
have
how
kids
many-
right now.
But that's part of it too, like, if they haven't...
All I see is that.
So these are non-accredited schools, I would guess.
I don't know.
I would have to dig a little deeper.
To keep your accreditation, would you have to be operational?
We have to meet certain, to be accredited, you have to meet certain rates. You got your placement rate, graduation rate, license rate, and default rate. And you have to meet those rates, and if you don't have any students, your rate's
Zero.
zero automatically.
Right.
So,
But sometimes if you're an accredited, it could take up to 6 years for you to get your reaccreditation. If you make your accreditation, like with NACIS, you get a 6-year privilege of not having to submit for just NACIS, I'm saying. Like
yeah.
DOE
If there's
might
no
be different.
limitations, right?
Yeah, like
NACIS
I never had limitations, so mine was only once every 6 years.
Right.
But you do still have your compliance audit and your physical
But if
audit.
you're
Yeah, I
numbers
still
were
did all
zero.
those things, but that
Right.
was, Yeah.
Right, you
But
go
if your
on,
numbers were zero, I
well, you go on heightened school alert, heightened financial alert, there's all these penalties you have. But, they don't
We don't know
pull
what their state
accreditation.
is.
It depends, too. You got CU, you got
Status.
in south states or southern states, gives a 10-year accreditation, so, you know,
But it's, where it is like a compliance standpoint from the inspectors, is they can't even inspect the school. So like if they haven't been able to go there and inspect the school in like 12 months, then how are we to even renew their license?
Right.
I
That would
agree
be
with
my
that.
that would be my
I
suggestion.
agree with that, I mean,
After 12 months, then,
Well, you could have like a policy that is if they have no students enrolled, that it would require an inspection for the renewal.
okay,
Rather than them just sending it in.
Okay.
You would have to, you could do it as a scheduled inspection and then maybe you could understand what's going on. Maybe
Right.
they didn't enroll any students for these 2 semesters, but they're gonna do it for the next semester or whatever. But there's some reason why they're keeping their license.
Right.
Yeah.
But then
Renew
you
it
don't know
every
if the
year.
equipment works or it's furnished properly.
right, and you don't know if how many instructors there really are, because you can't even get in to see the instructor licenses. You don't know if they have the things that they're supposed to have for a school, so
they're not even, like,
Or
allowing
maintain
into the
them.
facility
Nobody's
whatsoever.
there.
nobody's there.
It's
It's
empty.
vacant.
Okay.
Lights off, doors
But
locked.
there's stuff in it. It's not like
It's
an
not like
empty
they
building.
moved out yet.
But it's an
It's a
empty.
ghost town though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But right when I'm thinking they're gonna shut down, they send in for their renewal.
so
And
then it's weird for us, because we haven't been able to inspect it.
We have a question back here.
no problem.
Yeah, public comment is over.
Oh,
So you could have, you know, in order to renew your license, it would have to have the 2 inspections a year that they're supposed to have.
Right.
So if you have, make a list of the schools that haven't had their 2
Right.
inspections before you do renewals in January,
okay.
then.
Okay, certified letters.
So we just do a
Yes.
policy for that, like an admin policy?
Yeah, internally, yeah, just
Okay.
hold those registrations,
Okay,
and then we could start the process of giving them notice or whatever. But
Okay.
there would need to be an on-site inspection if there hasn't been one.
right,
Okay.
More than 6 months or whatever.
yeah,
I say send it certified.
yeah,
Yeah, all of our notices go certified in regular mail.
okay. So we don't
How many
need,
schools are we
we
looking
don't
at?
need anything. I would say maybe 3, 4.
Okay, so-
I don't,
okay,
it's
so
not
it's
like
not a
an
crazy number.
exponential number, and there's schools that I've never been to, so I don't even,
Do you have
I mean, I've not been to
locations
every
for
school.
that?
Huh?
Location and address for that?
oh yeah, because like the inspector shows up, and then there's nobody there. We have, because it's on the license. Yeah. Okay, so there's that. And then, another thing too, Deborah, do you wanna talk about this for,
Women's.
yeah,
LCIW, the women's prison, currently offers the cosmetology program. They are interested in doing the alternative hair design program, so they submitted a letter of intent with their curriculum. So we just think this would be a great avenue for them, and the warden's on board, so it's up to you guys if you wanna move forward. And we visited recently, and they have a lot of space, it's beautiful in there, really, for
and the
prison.
facility is
Yeah.
great.
I think it's great, and I mean, I would even say if they wanted to explore manicurists as well, if that's something that they're
They
interested
can't,
in.
we already,
Yeah.
The nail polish, they're not allowed, and
and
That's a lot of stuff,
the
yeah.
acrylic nails, it's a weapon,
Yeah,
there's
it's-
things that are, yeah, I mean, we didn't know, right? So we were just,
yeah.
but anyway, the good thing is that the current program is the 1,500-hour cosmetology. This is for people that are there that on shorter, moments of growth. Yeah, that they can then leave and, you know,
No, I think
actually
it's-
have something.
I think it's fantastic. I mean, maybe let them know that there's legislation that it could go up to 600 hours,
did.
but, okay.
We did.
But I think getting more people in the workforce
And they
and
also
giving them
have-
something.
They're about to have
forward
3 licensed instructors. So they already have the one, but they have another one that completed, her hours and is waiting to test, which has been interesting. That's one of the reasons why we went to Prometric, because they have to close down the testing facility for the inmates to go in and test. And so scheduling their test is really difficult. So we were trying to find solutions for them so that they could test, because some of these women have a release date coming up and they still haven't been able to test.
For the written.
The written and the NIC exam.
I think, can we go back old school like we did?
That's what we're working on, seeing what avenues and what is actually like allowed by us. And so like I'm doing all the work on that. And I'm also seeing they do have a testing facility there that tests for the high SAT. They even have a paralegal program. Tulane comes and does different classes. The Department of Agriculture does classes. And they have a testing facility there that's even more locked down than Prometric, if I'm being honest with you. And so if there's a way that Prometric can get the NIC on their closed system, that would be great. So we're working with them to try to find a solution for them.
And now as far as for the practical, they would.
They still come here. They don't have an issue coming here at all. Like coming here, they just tell us, and even if we have to do it on a Thursday or a Friday and add an additional day, we would do that. It's not, we have so much more autonomy to be able to support them in our building, but it's more so the Prometric thing and them shutting down their testing facility to allow the inmates to go in and test. So trying to find solutions, you know?
How many students do they have enrolled in cosmetology?
I think right now with 16, I think it was 16 or 17, but they have it is the highest, it's the hardest program to get into at the facility because of, essentially it goes by the difficulty of the program, and cosmetology is ranked the most difficult program for them to get into. Mm-hmm.
But I think they have a lot more requests than they can accommodate.
They have a lot more requests than they can accommodate. They only have one true licensed instructor, and then they have the two that are about to be instructors. And so then they'll be able to divide it, and we did talk to them about that just because I have experience with it. They have 3 different classroom areas that they could have a theory classroom going while they have practical lessons and a clinic floor working, and then switch them. So, I mean, they have plenty of opportunity there to help them, but the inmates themselves, they have to essentially kind of test into that program because it is the most difficult curriculum, the most difficult licensure that they can get while they're there, everything. So it's...
But the testing is to make sure that it's another step to make sure they can be successful.
Yeah.
So that they're not just putting people in the program that won't
be able to succeed.
So their test passage rate has been extremely high since the initiation of the
100%.
program.
They only
So
had
it's
one
working.
written test failure.
So they put that in there. They didn't want to just put 20 people in the program
Yeah.
and half of them not succeed. So they put in a lot of criteria.
And this is their criteria.
Right, they
Like,
put in the
them
criteria.
This
It's
is not
like,
a
It's
buzz.
it's the
Right.
state's criteria for their facilities that they have. So, like, what does it entail? Well, because it has anatomy and infection control and sanitation and business and all these other things, and then it's so much in such a short amount of time that it's ranked the highest difficulty that it can be, which is a 4 apparently. I don't know. There's rankings, so they're the only level 4 class. is
So
what
I
I was
think they
told.
still have people that meet the rank, that want to be
They're
in the
waiting.
program. They just, it's a
Yeah.
limited space.
They can only
They
do
only
like one instructor at a time.
Until
So
the other two.
once she tests, and the
Yes.
next lady will move in.
Yeah.
Like that.
So is the current instructor now, is she?
Amy.
She's there for a while.
She's a life.
Well, she's a lifer.
I was
Yeah.
trying to ask, because at first we had somebody from outside going in, we no
Yes.
longer have that.
No.
They train her.
I didn't know how to ask that.
Yeah.
No, they trained
She's a
her,
life sentence.
and then, of course,
Okay, so now they're
It's,
like
it's only lifers
freestanding,
Mhm.
yeah.
that's gonna be
Okay.
instructors.
The lady that's the instructor has a life sentence, and she had a cosmetology license when we
Before.
started the program.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And she was very excited about being able to teach her craft.
yeah.
And so it worked out that she was able to train as an instructor
Yeah.
and start the program. The program's been very successful, I believe,
It has.
in the inmates' interest in being in there, and then in the program, the facilities adding additional requirements to try to make sure that the people that are in the program can be successful, and from the beginning, 100% passage rate. So I didn't know if it was still 100%, but from the beginning it was 100% passage rate. So they do have a good screening process, it appears. But they didn't want to waste the spaces
Right.
on, they want the inmates to succeed in the programs that they invest the money in, the training. And then there was also some salons that were willing to work with them on job placement, because to get in the program you have to be so much very limited sentence left to serve to get out. So they're trying to train them to go right into the workforce so that they could test and right before they would be released. And there were some entities that were willing to interview those graduates.
Can you give me that list when you get a chance? Just because they've changed facilities, and that was actually something that they asked about.
Right. I know.
Do you remember?
I do remember
Okay.
one.
We'll talk later.
So,
Because that was one thing I was going to help them with
St.
next.
Gabriel's, right?
Yes, it's at St. Gabriel's.
Is that the only women's prison that we
Yes,
have?
it is. And there's no other women's facility.
but they're
in the
not
state.
necessarily all staying in this area. I mean, their families could be all over the state. So
Because it's the only state one.
Right.
So it's like, the
it's a
hub
state
for the
institution,
state.
so the inmates are not just from this area, they're from all over the state.
It's pretty out there. I went to go to tour in
Yeah, it's
college.
beautiful, actually. Yeah.
I
And
went to
then
see that
the new
facility.
facility is so nice. Like, it is so nice. I don't know. They're doing a
Can we
great
take
job.
a field trip?
Yeah, they would love to.
Don't wear all black.
You can't wear black. You get turned away at the door.
Oh, and hairdressers are showing up?
Yeah. All right, so, okay, so there's that. So, approval, we need approval.
I make a motion to approve the alternative hair design certificate at the Louisiana Correctional Institute for Women.
Second.
Yay.
Okay, all in favor?
Hi.
Any opposed? Okay.
Okay, where was I? Shops. The only thing that I have under shops right now is just to say it's, license renewal season, and so the mailroom and all that is trying to keep up with that, so just kind of bear with us, but she seems to be doing a great job. Cornita in the back.
I got mine back very timely manner.
Look at that.
Yep.
I know, we're doing great. I had fun sitting back there with her the other day, learning all the systems, so. All right, facility. Whew. Okay. So, I have been trying to work on getting us different estimates and things for different parts of the building. And so I spoke to somebody at the Office of State Buildings and got in connection with specifically the roof man. His name's Lyle. He's lovely. And so I'm learning a little bit on guidance on what that looks like. The actual, I don't know what it was, the law that was sent out by the governor gave a lot of guidance that they sent back to me on what really needs to go to procurement and what doesn't for approval. So that kind of leads me to my next section, which is the Office of State Procurement Connection and Protocol. So Keith is the guy that I spoke with at that office, and there's basically like a virtual shopping cart that you fill with whatever you are looking for, whatever scope of work. So like the software bid, because it's such a high amount, we're definitely going to have to go to public bid on that. So we just have to submit the criteria that we want, and then submit any other bids that we have as examples of what we wanted for them to kind of go off of. And then we could go back and select one of the original bids if we wanted to. So once we kind of get our, bearings with this renewal season, then we'll probably revisit that because we'll have more income to work with. But just so everybody knows, like, I've definitely been looking at it. I've had a lot of people coming and looking at the building and seeing how much things are going to cost to get done, and if it's something that we could do now or, you know, I mean, obviously like the carpets got cleaned recently, which was very exciting, for us, because they needed it. Performance audit, we are still doing our legislative performance audit, and they are starting to, all of the things that she asked for, documentation wise and forms, things like that, I submitted to her in like the first week. So then now it's kind of going to be more of an expedited process is what I'm finding. So it was supposed to originally take up to 6 months, but because we were able to deliver the information to them so timely, now she's already starting to sit with staff members this week, which is great. So I think we have 3 or 4 different staff members in the next week that they're coming to sit with. And then it may not be just that one time. They'll probably come back and do 1 or 2 days with each person. That's how it was originally laid out to us in the introduction phase, was that they were gonna have a day to kind of talk to them and then another day to actually observe. So they're gonna do the talking part first, and that's what's happening now. So excited about that. Financial update, I did attach the balance sheet and the profit and loss statement for you to view. I wasn't sure if that really has to be a vote or not. Jennifer, I think that that's kind of up to you. I know it was discussed at the last meeting that y'all should vote on that, but if it's of previous things, I don't know necessarily if it needs to be. I looked at it online and tried to find what it could be, but if it was previously done, I mean, maybe for y'all just to say.
Robert's Rules of Order, you would accept it.
Huh?
You would just accept the report.
Yeah.
Is what Robert's Rules.
It's not like a thing.
You don't know. It's an unaudited
Yeah.
financial report.
So there you go.
So, waiting on acceptance.
It's like we lost
Hmm?
we lost some money again this month.
Well, which one?
Profit and loss, negative 20,000.
Oh.
My eyes are hurting.
That was until December, actually.
Yeah.
This didn't have any, when I talked to the accountant about it, he was telling me that this was only until the end of December technically, because
Okay.
the last day of the month was Friday, so January's income is not on this because it can't process yet until the end of the month. So you'll actually see January's income on next thing.
In our next
Yeah,
meeting
on your
packet.
next thing, but you can see the deficit has decreased by, I think it was 67,000 in December. So that's from the early, shop and, school renewals that were coming in December. And so now that January and March are the tree renewal months, it should pan out a little better.
Okay. Can I get a motion for acceptance of,
We have to make a motion just to accept
just
it.
accept, yeah.
I make a motion to accept the balance sheet and profit and loss statement. A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Thank you, Erin.
Okay, the only thing else that I did put a copy of there in there for y'all is really the staff meeting that we held, the monthly staff meeting, and then the technology bids, I'm still waiting on a couple more, so, to just come back.
Yeah, on the website?
Huh?
Yeah, in the past few weeks, I received a couple phone calls from manicures and as well as new salon owners. So they're having a hard time. First of all, it's a renewal.
Yeah,
And I know the website is currently down due to the ADA compliance, but they have to go through several, they have to search around now to go online
I
and be
know.
able to renew it. So they end up like fail to renew it in time. And when they call the office, and you know, they have the language barrier, so it's kind of hard for them to do on their own. So I don't know.
Can they
So what is their
email
timeline?
us? I would advise them to email us, lsbc@la.gov. If there's a language barrier that might support, so then they can do a translate in their email of it itself. But also, it's the very first thing on the front of the ADA page, and I think I screenshot it and texted it to you, Kate.
Yeah.
If you look at the cover page that's
Right.
for the ADA compliance stuff, at the very top thing, it says click to pay here, like in capital letters, and you click that and it redirects you to the old payment thing with
I
Paystar.
think they had a hard time to do that too, because you have to put down like
The
the
Paystar,
Paystar, like cosmetology, because they have like a list of contractors,
yeah.
and they'll be able to go through. It look like they're familiar with the old website, because
Yeah,
the
I know
website
what
is
that
redirected
is,
to the Lsbc website. You know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about? So in this case, in the new website, they have to go through 7 pages, home pages, in order to find out the renewal
I
section.
understand.
So they've been having a hard time with that.
Why don't they
I
just
know.
mail it in with a check?
You know, they didn't know that we are changing.
I think also an
renewal.
issue
Still
too
mail
is
it
They
in.
haven't
it does
received
not
any
show
notice
me
about
how
it.
It depends on the search engine, is what we're learning.
No, but the thing is, they get used to the, you know, like the old website, they go
And-
to the
oh, I know.
LSBC, and then they be able to click
Yeah.
on the renewal.
Right now, if you go through Bing, it pops up automatically, but we've
As soon
added
as you
it back
type
to
in this.
Google like 5 times, and it's still removing it, but it's because it's Windows
Or
10.
you just put it in the mail.
Or you do that, yeah.
So.
But
maybe
also,
there's license.
another thing really quick, if you're gonna talk about that,
But they
is
have
that
to do all
we're in the
that.
process of getting
So
a
it
new
is, it's first on there. Can we put to maybe on the Facebook page, because the Facebook page is popping up on Safari. And I know a lot of people use Safari
We
as
can
the,
do that.
yeah, just put it on the Facebook, like we're having, here's the, so they can just click it, you know, like,
And
Yeah.
put an
Good
address.
suggestion.
since that is popping up.
Yeah.
When you Google it, you know.
And also, you can put on the website and the Facebook page, if you're having difficulties, mail it into this
Yeah.
address.
Yeah, mail it in like
Very-
it says on your license.
Yeah.
I still mail it, I just tear off the renewal slip,
That's
mail
what I
my
do, yeah.
check and
Yeah,
my,
just
Well, now I don't
mail
have
it
to,
in.
I just
yeah.
Yeah, but
wash it in
anyway,
my hallway.
I'm complimented about the registration for the new salon. I mean, it happened for me to witness Inspector Adrian, she be
Uh-huh.
able to help the new salon owner.
Yeah.
That is really neat, and I'm very happy with the
With the
process.
iPad?
With the iPad,
Yeah.
and they be able to cut the check, and they very
Keep
appreciate.
talking about that, Kate.
Yeah, that's why I'm complimenting about y'all
Keep
guys
telling
about
me
that.
how good it's getting.
I'm so happy. That's how amazing it is, you know? So.
I mean, and literally, like, just to back end that, William has been busting his tail on getting it to talk to our database, so we don't even have to pull up the reports. It'll automatically sync and flow into the database and input everything in itself. Currently, it's very expedited compared to the way that it was, which is already a victory in itself, but once it talks seamlessly, it's gonna be lovely. But again, Windows 10 is what we're having, and we have a server from 2000, 26-year-old server, which is older than most of the students in beauty school. So, anyway, it's been a journey, but it's happening, right?
I'm like waiting for my inspector to come so I can
You
just.
can't wait. I know.
I could just watch.
And you have such a great inspector.
I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard he's thorough. I've gotten some text messages
Who is it,
about how
Zay?
thorough he
Yeah.
is. Yeah, I'm like, oh, Lord.
Okay, so, that's, Erin, is that it for your report?
That's it.
Technology?
After the badges, that's it. I do that.
So we do have the inspector. I saw him. Yes, okay, so, we're gonna go ahead and slide, if everybody's okay with it, we'll go ahead and slide in the hearing right now, because our inspector has, arrived.
To set up.
She'll get going.
Where did, you
Wait,
guys have a window?
Yeah, that's our stand.
Well, she said something. I just
That's our stand.
Okay, so where's the license?
Right.
Don't they do one and then the other?
She's not,
But she's gotta be able to participate in the same.
like Edrin's not,
manner.
Edrin's gonna be a witness, but she's not the licensee.
The
So we need a
licensee
place
needs
for
to
the
be
licensee to
here.
sit.
No, sitting.
Needs to probably be.
We can give you a roll the chair over here.
We need a second chair. One for Edrin and one for Ms. Bell.
That's the witness chair. The licensee needs to be here.
Oh.
Where's the other chair?
And I'm gonna have to be.
Or put it,
I'm
or
gonna
put
say,
a
where the
chair.
other chair?
Tasha.
Look,
Right here. Tasha can sit here.
Okay, I can move. She needs to be on the same.
Y'all need this one?
Yeah.
And
Thank you, ma'am.
It's new. We're new.
Oh, well, maybe we don't need it now.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm gonna have to get up with that.
I think you gotta get up there though.
All right.
You gotta get up there. You gotta go up there.
Yeah, Edrin, you go up there. Miss
Right there,
Bell.
right there.
Miss Bell, you come up right here, please.
Corner.
Just have a seat here.
you're gonna need to stay.
I need to move back. Okay.
Go ahead and go on the record, Ellen.
Okay, we have this morning on, our agenda, a hearing for Ms. Kimberly Bell. It's docket number 25009. Are you Ms. Bell?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna give a little bit of an overview of how the procedure works, so you'll know. The complaint has been filed, and you have been provided, I believe, with a copy of the exhibits that will be used during the hearing. The case will be presented by the board's attorney first, and so she'll call witnesses. Once she finishes questioning the witness, you will have the opportunity to question the witness as well, as will the board members. And then you will have an opportunity to present any documents or call any witnesses you wish to present for the hearing. If you wish to testify, do you have counsel or?
No, but I feel like I do need counsel at this point. I feel like I do.
So are you asking that the hearing be continued to another day?
Well, I just wasn't expecting this. From my understanding, it was a violation of a misunderstanding, but this seems a bit extreme. I wasn't expecting it.
Okay, so are you requesting that the hearing be continued to another date?
No, let's get over.
I just want to make sure that you want to proceed today. These are the members of the Cosmetology Board, and they would be the ones making the findings and determining the outcome of the hearing. And I think you already got notices indicating that you could be fined or your license could be suspended or revoked. That's
I
correct?
did.
Okay. So in light of those possible consequences, do you want to go forward with the hearing today, or do you want to obtain counsel and have the hearing on another day?
I think I'll oppose counsel. I'll get counsel.
Okay.
So,
Can this be scheduled for the next board meeting date,
Sure.
March? Or does that, you know, the date of the March meeting, is it second, third?
March 2nd or 3rd is the date. I
The
don't-
board meets the first
The
Monday.
first Monday of the month is the,
The second.
March 2nd, does that give you enough time?
yes.
Okay, so, what is the situation with the license? Is this a current license? Is her license current?
it's been renewed, yes.
It's been renewed, so it's valid until next year.
That's my understanding, yeah. I mean, you have a valid, her license is active and valid, yes.
Do you have any concerns, Ms. Luckett, about continuing the hearing
I
to
do
another
not.
date?
I do not.
Okay, do any of the board members have any concerns about continuing the hearing to another date to allow Ms. Bell to obtain counsel?
I have a question. Okay. Okay, so I'm here because of a failure to register my license, saying that I work in the facility in the building, correct?
Well, I mean, if we're gonna continue the hearing, then we're gonna go, all those things would be, come in as part of the hearing and part of the proof. And that would probably be through the documents that you were presented, and also the testimony of the inspector or anybody else Ms. Luckett plans to call as a witness.
Let's go forward. Let's go forward today.
I want to make sure that you, I don't want you to make a decision that you're not going to be happy with.
Do you want to speak to me outside maybe before we start?
if there's any questions I can answer for you.
Yeah, yes.
Would that, I mean, I don't know, because she can't, so I don't know if that would make you feel more comfortable making a decision.
Yes.
We can do it that way. Is that okay with the
Yeah,
board?
sure. We'll give you all a couple
Absolutely.
minutes to step outside.
And if you all
Kelsey, you
reach
can
some
use
sort
my
of
office.
resolution, if you all have some sort of resolution.
Okay, okay.
Or we can handle other business as well. I think they have to report it to their board member. It's under my report, but do you want to cover that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think there were some concerns about the agenda deadlines. So.
We're still in a meeting. We're still in a meeting.
Okay, so there were some concerns, and I'm gonna ask Erin to help me address as well, and maybe the other staff members. For things to be on the agenda, we need lead time for the staff to be able to gather the information, to have information, so that you all can make appropriate decisions based upon information. So the agenda deadline, technically, under the law for the agenda has to be posted 24 hours in advance of the meeting, as you know. But because you meet on Monday, that's a Friday, right? Weekends and holidays don't count. And if Friday were a holiday, it would be Thursday. So to make sure that everything gets on the agenda, that needs research in advance, and school submissions need to be 30 days in advance of the agenda, so that they can get the materials, they can communicate with the schools or the licensees if there's some additional material that's needed. One of the items you handled this morning on the course that you approved for the association, it got delayed several times, but maybe that could have been worked out if it had been submitted earlier and the staff could have communicated that what information was lacking, and then it could have gone forward without having to carry it over to another agenda. So I think that's.
Yeah, and also if they have something they want added or to discuss, they should be going through their board member for their district too, instead of just calling and asking for Tasha to add something. Like, they need to have some of the things need to go through board members.
Like what types of things?
Well, that's where I was trying to connect to see. I know that the schools and stuff, obviously that goes through Deborah.
Right.
But as far as like, if there's something, that they want to present or whatever, they need to go through their board member for that area. So if somebody in New Orleans wants to present something like a good idea that they have or whatever, they need to go talk to Kate, if Kate's over the New Orleans area, to get it added to the agenda in a timely manner, so that Kate's doing it and that those license holders don't have to come directly to us. They should have some sort of, connection to their board member too. That was my understanding from what.
The correct channels of communication.
Yes.
So is that something that can be posted on the website?
Yeah, it can be. I just wanted to make sure that y'all.
Yeah, that was my understanding, that's how it was supposed to be.
Correct.
And then if I have someone who calls and I don't necessarily have to put it on the agenda if I, correct? If I feel like it's something
Unnecessary
or we need more information.
Correct.
Like, just a heads up, you wanna do a conference, this is what we need, come back to us then, or whatever, correct?
Yes. So like if the conference is scheduled in your district or like, then they would need to go to you,
Okay. Okay. I would post it on the Facebook too, like I've said.
Absolutely.
I think right now, with just everything with the website, I think Facebook is gonna be our best avenue to get information out,
I agree.
Okay. Are you proposing that we change the deadline, or is this in statute?
It's already an existing thing. It just needs to be something
I
that's.
just think it hasn't maybe been adhered to, and so a lot of
Yes.
times, I guess people know that the meeting's coming up today on Monday, and so Wednesday and Thursday they send stuff, and it can't always be
Yeah.
accommodated, and then sometimes we even have people drive here, and
Yes.
it didn't
Yeah, I
make the
agree.
agenda. So, maybe needs to be more awareness, and if the board members are aware, they can maybe communicate it
Yeah.
to the people in your districts, and if we put it on the website, I think would help too, so that anybody that's wanted to submit something.
Yeah, it would be nice if we have our own, like a Lsbc email.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For the
our own
members
email
and
so I could,
contacts, so that we
yeah.
can be able to communicate with each other.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because we did just create inspector emails for their iPad transition and all of that.
That's a great suggestion.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. We'll look and see if there's a cost associated with adding additional emails to,
Yeah. And then with the posting, it would have everyone's new emails, everything's all together and all of that kind of stuff.
yep.
Why can't they just email you? Here.
I mean, they can, and then I can email it to y'all, that's
I
fine
mean, you have to think
too.
about the
But talk to them
legislature.
with a phone,
But
just say, hey, email it.
think about, I mean, you have to think about this, like, I'm a constituent, I go to my state rep, and the state rep takes it to the legislature. I don't
Right.
call the governor.
Right.
I don't call, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's your,
Can't really, I mean, that's,
well, no, it's just,
It's
it-
not
that's apples and oranges. That's
but that, this is our, that's that for us. And so that's how it should be done. I am the District 6 rep. District 6 people should call me,
Right.
and then I bring it. I'm the representative of that district. You gotta think of it that
Yeah,
way.
they call you and then
Yeah.
if they want to email, just give me a personal email. You don't want that.
I got too much stuff coming from school. I got kids, I keep track, literally have an email just for school stuff for my
Yeah,
kids and
me too.
personal stuff. I don't need anything else lost in that sauce.
I'll work on getting y'all emails, and I'll see if there's a cost associated. If it's minimal, I'll just go ahead and do it.
Yeah,
Okay?
thank you. And
Sean
what,
can
what
one.
date, what date would y'all like it? By the 15th? What date would you like?
30 days prior.
30 days prior?
So today for the next meeting almost, right?
For what?
Essentially, yeah.
All school stuff has to come in 30 days before the next meeting.
Okay. I mean, I love how thorough these are, so I appreciate
It's a
that.
lot of work.
Yeah.
And it's not done the hour before.
No.
It
It's
really
not.
can't be to get you all the information and for you all to have the chance to review it.
And I'm doing so many other things, clearly.
Okay, so for the rule book promulgation, we had numerous different versions of the rules, and we probably need to have, the most updated version, and then some of it would be changed really by the legislation that you all are discussing, would change some of the
We gotta change it.
rules. So we probably need to compile what we have. But as far as the permit, those chapters on the permits, that might be handled by the legislation. So those would come out of the rules possibly.
We gotta change them.
Yeah. So we're gonna wait till after the legislation to do the promulgation?
I think you can do all the chapters except for that chapter. There was, a proposed rules to do the equipment for alternative hair design facilities. There was also, changes in the, special permit section. So I would leave those chapters out, because you will probably have to do rules afterwards. If the legislation passes and changes any of that, then those rules would have to be rewritten.
I'm just trying, okay, let me just give you, and what I'm trying to do. Trying to give the most updated information to our license holders, because our current goal book and the way that it's laid out is not very user friendly. And it doesn't have the updated information the way that it's easy for a hairdresser, manicurist, alternative hair permit holder to easily access, you know what I mean? And understand.
Correct.
And so like when they're asking about certain things that we've discussed in board meetings in the last 3 or 4 years and it's not there, it's kind of hard for me to find things a lot of times, honestly. So I just want to, can I post a draft to the website of the things that have passed?
Yeah, there could be a draft, but it would only be a draft.
It would have to say draft on every page. Okay.
On the pages where you have changes, some sections don't really have, like chapter 9 didn't have any changes, chapter 17 didn't have any changes. There's several chapters that didn't have any changes recommended.
So the draft from last spring that Kiwan sent to you?
Not sure, we'd have to go through, I mean, I have like 5 drafts.
Oh.
So, we could go through and come up with a draft.
Okay. Something
And
that
then
I can
remove
post
those
to the-
chapters that would possibly be affected by the proposed legislation.
Okay.
When can she expect that, Sharon? When we're getting together with you
Probably the next week or so.
the next week or so?
Can we get a copy of that one?
This one,
Or do you have extra copies of it?
these are all different copies
Oh.
that have been provided to staff.
Can I ask a question?
So what you have that we've gone over, is it ready to be turned in for promulgation except, no, it's not even ready? Okay.
We have multiple.
Deborah has a question.
Once you do get it, how long does it take to get it promulgated normally?
It has to go to, first it has to get a fiscal note, and then it has, once it gets a fiscal note, then it could start the publication of the notice of intent. And then you go through the, time to promulgate it. It's a little bit different from the last promulgation that we did, because it's not gonna go through the OLRC. It's gonna go to the Attorney General's office, and so there's some of those deadlines are not controlled by the board. So you wanna, if we have proposed legislation or something that would hold up those chapters, you really don't wanna deal with those chapters because it would mess up your.
So can you promulgate some and then promulgate the rest later?
I think that's what we need to do,
Yeah, I think
since
so
we
too.
have,
Should have been promulgated.
a proposal that would change some of
Okay.
the rules.
Perfect.
Okay. All right, so it looks like Kelsey has been back.
So, I'll just kind of recap and you tell me if I say anything you disagree with. So, Ms. Bell and I had a good conversation. I explained to her her options for having the hearing today, having the hearing at the next meeting with or without counsel at her option, and her right to informal resolution if she would prefer to do that. And she elected to have this hearing continued to the March 2nd board meeting so that she can make a decision for sure about how she wants to proceed.
Yes.
Is that accurate?
Yes. So we just need a motion to continue.
Okay, I make a motion to continue the hearing for Kim Bell to the March 2nd. Throw me off.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Okay, so Ms. Bell, even if you don't receive another notice, the hearing would be here at this location, on March 2nd, 2026 at 9 o'clock. Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Thank you for coming today.
Okay.
And you're free to go. You can stay if you want, but.
Oh, no.
And Edrin, you're free to go, and Ellen, you're free to go as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have the executive
We have my report as well.
I had to get my certificate.
Confirm where the next location is gonna be.
Here. It's here.
Yeah, the next one, yes. Just make that announcement.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Erin, you can come back up if you want.
Set up here.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna move on to
You can come back up. if you want.
prosecutor's report.
Okay.
All right.
So this is something new that Erin asked me to start doing. So please give me any comments, if y'all want to hear something different or, none of it or whatever. The report that I put together, that you guys should have in your packet lists each month how many violations I am getting. So when the board receives violations from inspectors, they do not all come to me. They only send them to me if they are administrative hearings. So the number of inspection reports that they get does not mean that I get all of them. So you'll see this past month I got 31 new violations. And so the way that I started, just to give y'all a little background, I started with this board in 2022. At that point, the board had parted ways with their prior inspector more than a year before that. And then the year before that was COVID in 2020, and so they had not done any prosecutions for about 2 years. And so when I came on board, there was a very, very large backlog. I went back and did the math. I had 181 violations from before 2022 that we had to deal with before I could even start dealing with the 10 to 15 new ones that were coming in every month. And so that's just to give you guys a little bit of perspective. It took me about 1.5 years to get through all of the pre-2022 violations, which we did do. Those are all complete. Everything's, done, closed, and finalized with those. And so the continuous problem that we have is there's a backlog that we're still working our way through that's getting smaller and smaller as we go, but it's just still there. And then, of course, I got 31 new ones this month. So it's a constant push and pull between old violations and new violations, and spending time on each one. So for 2022, all violations have been resolved except for 3. The 3 that have not been resolved are folks that just don't respond to any efforts to do anything with the violations. And so they just need to be set for hearing. What I do is for folks who request a hearing, they get precedence. So Ms. Bell today requested a hearing, so I was going to set her before I would set somebody who's ignoring me and not asking for a hearing. And so that's why there's 3 left that have not been set for hearing yet, simply because we had newer people who wanted hearings sooner, and so we gave them.
They're not answering you, can we just go ahead with the hearings if they don't show up?
Yeah.
I mean, just
we
to
can
get that
just
off your
notice
list.
all 3 of them. Yeah.
Like if we're here all day on a Monday,
And the same thing you'll see for 2023, same exact thing. We have 3 from 22, 3 from 23, and those are just people who, actually I think I heard from one of them last week maybe. But point being, those are, I've done everything I can on my end, they just need to be set for hearing.
it would make for a long day, but just to start 2026 off and a new executive director, I think it'd be best to just clear the to-do list.
Yep, sure, we can do that.
Pack a lunch.
Yeah, just hang out. Okay, so I skipped the prosecution overview, or the process overview. Typically what happens is I get the violation in, I determine what the violation was and who discipline should be pursued against related to that violation. So if it's for having an unlicensed worker in the salon, the violation is against the individual owner of the salon as well as the salon itself. And so the law requires us to send notice of the violations, the laws that they may have violated if proven to be accurate, and their rights as relates to that violation. So they have the right to send in a formal response to me. They can do, photographs, a written statement, whatever they want. They also have the right to request what's called an informal conference. And all of these rights are laid out in the initial letter that goes to them. So they can either send in a written response, they can request an informal conference, which is where we come to the board. It used to be just Tasha and I, but now Erin is doing them as well. We haven't had any yet. And we'll come and meet with the person. They'll tell us their side of the story. From there, we'll decide, okay, maybe it was a misunderstanding, we'll dismiss the violation, or maybe it wasn't, and we need to, proceed forward from there. At that point, the individual has the right to a consent agreement or an informal resolution. So I always offer the consent agreement unless it's something that you guys have told me you don't want to do a consent on. So for example, you told me that folks who have a violation while they're on probation from a previous consent, y'all want them to come before the board and not be offered a consent. So that's the only one I can think of right now where that comes into play. So So then folks had the opportunity to accept the consent, do it that way, we approve them, and then the violation is considered closed. Otherwise, they request a hearing, we hold a hearing, you guys make a decision, and then that violation is closed from there. Does anybody have any questions about the process?
Tell me, okay, because you said she doesn't get every violation. What violations does she get? Where's the,
She
do you have
gets,
a list of this versus this? What's the list?
so she gets shops, license holders, people that are unlicensed. Sherry does schools and our larger scale things.
And I would say, so the, you guys' statutes allow the inspectors to do, to issue fines in the field for things like late renewals, or they don't have their picture posted on their license, or things like that, they can issue fines for, and they do, and those don't come to me. So it comes to me if it is unlicensed
So
person in the,
theirs is more like clerical kind of.
yes.
And it's also anything that can be fixed, like if a piece of equipment is broken, the inspector will go back
And check.
and check where
Yeah.
their conditions weren't as clean as they should.
Yeah, like a
have, or
cleanup
something like
order,
that.
they'll give them a cleanup order, they'll go back in 7 days if they've complied.
It's
It's done.
something that can be fixed in a short period of time.
Okay. Now, let me also say this. This is just the system that I inherited, and so none of this, I mean, some of it is statutory and you guys have to comply with what the statutes say, but as far as what violations come to me versus which ones are kind of dealt with in the field, I mean, that's up to y'all, really, to decide. And so y'all see the ones I get, you know, all the consent agreements that I get, those are typically, sometimes, you know, you get an unusual one here or there, but they're pretty much the ones that y'all,
Mostly
unlicensed shops, unlicensed people, or, you know, we get manicure salons that are licensed as manicuring
scope.
salons that have waxing or doing waxing.
Any
That's out of
practice
scope.
that's out of scope.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if they're an alternative hair,
Mhm.
if they're supposed to be doing alternative hair and they're doing manicures,
Yeah.
those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other thing to note is that it may be, so I got 31 violations this month. One violation could have 10 actions. And I mean, that's extreme. I've never had 10. But like, for
It
example.
just doesn't mean one thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It means like for example, one we were dealing with the other day was the salon had 2 unlicensed students working in it. Well, the owner's gonna get a violation, the shop's gonna get a violation, and each of those students is gonna get a violation. So one inspection report is gonna be 4 actions.
Gotcha.
Some of them are 1, you know, unregistered salon. That's just against the owner, that's just gonna be 1. But the point is, it doesn't necessarily mean 1 violation, 1 action. It can be much broader, depending on what it is.
Yeah, so 31 could turn into 60. Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see.
and that's why it can be difficult, because I may close out the salon and the owner, but the other 2 students, are still open, so that violation's not closed yet.
Do you think some people, when they get the letter from you, may have a hard time understanding what it's saying?
You field a lot of questions. I think probably so.
I'm just wondering too, if sometimes, like, in the case of the one that came, I think was a little unclear of what it meant. I just wonder if maybe it's over-worded, or if it's.
So we could give that to you all as licensees and maybe you can look at it.
We have forms for all of this that
It
y'all can
complies
look at.
with the requirements of law.
Yeah.
But if there's some information that you said, oh, I wish I knew this or whatever,
Yeah.
you all could look at it and maybe give some input that might be
Yeah, like-
valuable, since if you got this as a licensee, what
What
other
does that mean?
information, what's unclear or what's.
Yeah, like, this is the statute, but this is what this means, in like very layman's terms, because I can see, I mean, just reading the gold book sometimes myself,
Yes.
I'm like, I gotta read this like
Yes.
3 times just to simplify it. I think it might maybe make it a little.
We can do that.
Well, certainly, I mean, like Kelsey said, there are forms that are in use, they've been
Could we add that to the
changed
agenda
over
for the
time.
next time? Maybe we can have some mock-ups and just look over it and see if we.
And I can send y'all the ones
Yeah,
that
send
we
me the
use.
originals, and ChatGPT is my best employee.
And see what you can figure out.
So,
See what it
could
can
take,
come up with.
maybe if you took one case that maybe went to a hearing and
All the way through
notices
everything.
yeah,
for a
just give me all the
particular case.
mock-ups,
Yeah.
and I can see how we can maybe make it a little easier for our licensees to maybe read, things like that.
Sure.
It might free up some time because people have an understanding from the beginning of what's happening. No,
How
take-
have you tried to contact these three that, tried calling?
We don't, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and if they're students, or if they were students, they're not students anymore.
And we
They're not gonna be there. If they're employees, they may not still be working there, so, and if you're sending letters, their employer may just not be giving it to them, so.
So it's usually, I can go back and double check these, but I agree with you, they are old, so we do double check the current, whatever the registration is as of, the day that we're working on it.
Right.
And they are required to maintain accurate contact information with us.
Okay.
And so all I can do,
Right.
and we can't, the inspector can go back out there, but at the end of the day,
Right.
if they're gonna ignore it, there's not a whole lot
Is
that
that
can
in
be
the goal
done.
book?
What?
The, having accurate, contact information with the state
Yes.
board?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's issued on our
Up to date.
license.
It is.
It's on our license, I think.
It is on the license.
Yeah.
okay.
That was something we talked about.
And
maybe
we
before
don't,
were here. Yeah.
we don't maintain in our, registry the, like an email address. And so all we really have is mail or phone call.
You've sent them certified letters?
Yeah.
And they get a certified letter?
Some of them are getting them, some of them are not. We also send them by regular mail because sometimes certified mail, if they don't go pick it up, then it gets sent back. So we'll send it regular mail as well so that it'll get in there.
Okay.
They'll hopefully get it.
And that's all documented, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool.
Do you offer these letters in other languages?
We don't have them in other languages. We could, we would have to, we have a translator that we've used in certain hearings that we could have them translate the letters, the form letters for us, we could do that.
Or maybe just have a notice
If you need
assistance.
and put it in different languages, if you need this in a different language, please contact the board, I don't know, on your point about students, we do have several, where, let's say someone completed school maybe 2 or 3 years ago and they just never passed their tests, so they just start working, and we'll get a violation from them, for working without a license. A lot of times those folks just sort of stop working and they never test and they never get licensed. And what we do is we basically put a note in their file that says if they ever try to come back and get licensed, they have to address the violation before they can get licensed. So, because it makes no sense for us to spend time holding hearings to issue orders against people who are never going to be in the profession and have no incentive or reason to comply with any
Just the
order.
cost
It's
of
just,
it.
there's no reason to do it. So if there's someone like that, they graduated 3 years ago, we have no idea where they are and they're not listening, they're not responding and they're not trying to get licensed, then that's how we typically handle that.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so we have those handful left from 22 and 23, like we talked about. 24, actively working on 137 total violations. You'll see on here, total number completed to date, 64. So those are ones where no matter how many violations there were per inspection report, the whole thing is closed out. Total number in process is 16, so what that means is I've sent the notice letter, maybe I've offered the consent, maybe we're having an informal conference, those are in process. And then total number to be processed, those are the ones I have not gotten to yet. 25, same numbers, 132 total. Total number completed to date, 58. Total number in process, 36. Total number to be processed, 38. And then I just got last week my first batch of 26 violations, which I have not started yet.
Okay.
So that's it. That's all I have.
Thank you for that report.
Oh, Erin wanted to talk to you about the emotional support animal. We've had a couple of violations. And so I didn't know if this was, we didn't know exactly how to handle it because the rule is not super clear. So we had, this particular violation was for someone who had 3 animals in the salon, and they were emotional support animals, registered with the National Registry, but they were not, and Erin knows way more about the distinction than I do, so she may want to step in here, but they're not service animals. And so our rule says, no facility licensed by the board shall permit any live animal to be present on the premises except for an animal certified to assist a disabled person.
Well, there's laws, and I went through this already, we have one. The
Yeah.
ADA has specific laws.
Yes.
That you can only ask certain questions. And I think one of the questions you can ask is the dog trained?
Yep.
All right, and if they say yes, you just have to go to their word. It doesn't have, you can't go look it up or anything. Another thing, if someone in the classroom is allergic to the animal, you have to provide facilities for the person who's allergic has to be removed from the room and provide an additional teacher. The dog gets to stay in the room. It's all ADA, being ADA compliant, so I've been through this already.
And I know Erin and I talked about it, and I know she has too. So I think the question really is whether the rule does not make a distinction between a service animal and an emotional support animal.
But when the rule was promulgated, there was no recognition of emotional support.
Right, that's totally different.
I think the question you can ask when someone comes in is the dog trained, and that's the only answer?
I think there's
my dog's trained, but it's not registered, you know.
There's like 2 questions you can ask, so 2 or 3 questions that you can ask.
And you don't have to register them in Louisiana, so.
Emotional support animals, and the register thing is like a $10 fee online.
Yeah, you just
type your dog's Fido, Marceau, Golden Doodle.
Yeah.
Gets a.
They have little ID
They get a
cards.
card with their little picture on it. We saw pictures of Pug.
Emotional support and service animal are 2 different things.
They're way different.
And so the point of bringing this up, and we don't have to decide anything today, but the point of bringing this up is that the rule says certified to assist a disabled person.
Assist.
And so the question is,
What is your definition of assist?
Right.
Or
It's not our decision to make.
person.
It's anxiety,
This is not our decision to make. This is the ADA rules. We have to comply by them. That we can't say
So
yes
do
or
we
no.
need to reword and add
have
this
to
into
add that.
promulgation? Is this an important issue that we
It
need
doesn't
to
matter
deal
what we put on there. We have
Right.
to abide by
I don't know
it.
how much it's coming
Yeah,
up, but
service
it's come up a handful of times, and we
Emotional
just didn't
support is
know
not
what,
service animal.
how the board wanted
It needs to say service
It
animal.
needs
I
to
think
say
like they're saying it needs
service
to say
animal.
service
Inspectors
animal.
need to know.
It can't
Inspectors need to
say,
know.
Nothing has to say anything. All you gotta ask them if they say yes, is a service animal, done.
Well, yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
yeah, I know, but like, what they're saying is it still needs to be in the rule book,
Right.
worded correctly.
what they're
And then
allowed to have and
What
not
they're allowed to have, and then the salon can post
Mm-hmm.
on their door, only, just like a grocery store, service animals allowed, and, you know, I mean, it's a way, cause like,
Mm-hmm.
let's just say you're a salon
Well-
owner and they showed up with 3 dogs, like, maybe it would stop some people
So let
from
me
doing
just
it.
say, we're actually dealing with the inverse. The owners had the dogs.
Yeah.
Just the owner that has
The owner of the salon had the dogs, not.
And it's
Not-
not, y'all
and
saying
there's
dogs,
other
it's not
animals.
only dogs.
But she.
I know.
Plural.
Ferrets,
I get it. I get what you're saying, but
Lizards, like
my
that.
point is,
miniature ponies are allowed.
what can
As a
license,
service
the,
animal.
Okay.
the question is, what can a licensed salon have in their salon?
Right.
Service animals, a registered service animal.
Okay,
A
so
registered service
it
animal.
is my recommendation that we put this on next month's agenda to discuss formally.
Well, it just
And
needs to
we'll-
go with all that, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, we also, it does, but we also need to decide what we want it to say, and how it's worded,
Yeah.
and that we're protected and they're protected and
Everybody
everybody's
knows
happy.
what everybody's rights are.
So
Right.
one person can have 3 service
No,
animals?
there were
was
the
three
three,
Oh,
three of
They're all
these
bringing their dogs
all
now.
had.
The mom and the
And they're all
daughter.
registering them for $10 on the thing, and then these dogs aren't trained. I'm
I was
just
gonna say,
letting
what
y'all
happens if they
know.
start fighting?
Cause you just do whatever, and then people go into this place and the dog is barking, growling, whatever. It doesn't mean that that dog is service animal trained. Service animal trained helps you perform a function.
Don't they
Yeah.
have to wear a vest if they're service
Yeah.
animals?
Oh, if it's a service animal, it
Every
has to have a
service animal
distinction.
that is coming to my salon that is there for someone who's diabetic or whatever, they wear a vest.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah,
not
me
allowed to
too.
even talk to their dog if the vest is on.
The
My
emotional
church has
support
one.
dog
You're
has a
not,
bow
like,
in its hair.
you're not allowed to talk to it because it's working. It's
Right.
crazy. He takes the vest off and the dog gets the zoomies because he knows
Yeah.
it's he knows.
No,
It's
it's
crazy. Because like I always wanted to play with him, so we went outside one day and he took it off and he got this. And I was like, how does a dog know clock in and clock out? Like this is wild to me. And then when his vest
Yeah.
goes on, he's like,
Been no time.
but
Yeah,
he's a diabetic service dog.
yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Service dogs and
I'm
miniature
one of those
horses.
people
Don't forget about the miniature horses.
Airport.
I think he uses dogs.
Categorized as mini horse.
And more explanation about animals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Ellen. You have any input on the dog discussion?
Okay, so.
That's all, unless you have any questions.
I would like to add to the agenda, like maybe going over that and it, you know, making it a little easier for our licensees when they get stuff in the mail, making it clear for them to read and things like that. You know, I think maybe it could free up some time for you if they're understanding it
Yeah.
straight from the beginning.
Okay.
You know,
They call. Yeah, they call.
they call it, yeah, I think, you know, almost like the par guide, you know, it's like, if you vote yes, this is what you're voting for.
Yeah,
If you vote
yeah.
no, you know, like kind of just a, what
And
this
it is kind of difficult to explain what a formal hearing looks like until you get here and
Right.
you see.
Yeah, I could understand being intimidated. You thought you were just coming to an informal hearing and kind of have all the language as simple as possible. You will sit in front of the board. It is open to the public. It is, you know, all of these things. So,
Got it.
you just did me the point.
So that, I guess that'll wrap up prosecutor's report. Are we going to circle back and go into executive session?
That's my recommendation, that the lawsuit be discussed in executive session.
Yeah, so Jane's gonna recuse herself.
So,